Right. Hello again to the Influence Global podcast, and I'm delighted to be joined today by Alfie, otherwise known as AKA QuantumCaza. Welcome, Alfie.
Thank you for having me.
So what's the QuantumCaza all about?
Um, QuantumCaza, it was like it's like a, how do I put it? It's a nickname in a sense, because growing up, I was just known as Alfie, and there was too many of them, and I kind of wanted to be unique. So I asked my mum one day, can I have a nickname? And she kind of said, like, my dad's from Morocco, so why not do Casablanca, but like Kaza, put the Z instead of the S. And Quantum, because I'm a massive gamer, I used to play a game called DC Universe Online, and there was an ability called the Quantum ability, and I liked how it rolled off the tongue, and you could, I think it was like you could control like time and space or something, and I just liked, I don't know, it just flowed, you
It
know.
just flowed. It was something different, and a lot of, obviously there's a lot of online personas, aren't there? And yeah. So today we're going to be talking about, really what it's like to be a content creator, but something more specifically. You were the winner of Pitch Influence in 2020, which is of course where we first met each other, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So just tell people that perhaps don't know enough about that competition, what you had to do, and what your experience was like.
Um, Basically, with the whole pitch influence competition, I believe in the beginning we had to submit I think it was like, was it a minute video?
A minute video, yes.
There was a minute pitch on like who it was like. I think it's more or less like who you are and what you do if you want. Like, what would you do if you won? I think, yeah. It's been a minute. I do apologize.
Yeah, no, it was very much about, an initial pitch of who you are, what you're about, and why you think you should win.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the final was shared at the online event with the London Travel Market, if you remember.
I remember that.
So what did you decide to do in your video? Tell everybody about that.
I feel like when it came down to my video, I was like thinking for a while what I could actually do, and I feel like I wanted to tell my story a bit and kind of inspire, and I wanted to do it outside the box, because I feel like just doing a video is not enough these days. So I thought, okay, I wanted to like add some animations, because I feel like in this day and age, like I watch a lot of anime, and I find anime is one of the biggest storytelling things there is, because you can like, there's so much emotion involved with it. And so I commissioned an animator to do some aspects of my story that I was telling, which was like about me on and my journey so far, where I kind of like grew up kind of, getting bullied. I had some domestic at home, and I kind of wanted to tell that story, but not in such a mundane way. Um, and so I kind of just chucked together a bunch of animation and me with my energy, and boom.
Yeah. Well, it was incredible actually, because we saw quite a lot of, I mean, I was a judge on that, as you know, and just to see the different entries come in, and you were very full on and I think in a way, not in a negative way, but actually very passionate about what you believed in, and the pace in which you delivered your message in that video was quite something. But you also had a particular niche in your message, which was your love of coffee.
Oh yeah.
What's all that about then?
Um, well, as you know, in like the YouTube world, it's very important to have like a base subject or like a niche to talk about. And throughout my creative journey, I've ventured down the vlog avenue, where I just vlogged at events, vlogged myself. I actually started doing vlogging to help my own mental health, because I had really bad anxiety, self-confidence issues, and like counseling didn't help for me. So I thought, okay, I've got to fix this. I got to sort this. So I started that, and then along the way, like I evolved multiple times throughout my creative journey, until I stumbled upon something that's been in front of my face this whole time, and it was coffee. Because no one's really doing coffee, how do I put it? No one's doing what I'm doing with coffee. I'm like a coffee vlogger. I kind of created the whole genre on YouTube. And I just find it interesting. I love learning because I was like kind of, I don't know if deprived's the word, but like in primary school, like they pushed me away from, they thought I had like learning difficulties when in fact I was just a bit slow. So they put me away with like other kids. So I always wanted to learn. And I feel like with coffee, there is so much to learn. It's not just a hot beverage, you know, there's the blend, there's the different type of coffee, you know, and it's just a whole experience. And I've got history with coffee as well. Like my dad, he's Moroccan and he like grew up in Italy. So like when I was little, he used to feed me like espresso on a teaspoon.
All
So
right.
so it's kind of like I think it's into what's the word? I'm so bad at English. It's just so it's into what intertwined. Yeah, is that the word?
Interwoven.
Yes, that's the word. It's interwoven into like my whole like growth as a person. Yeah, I just feel like it's all my life I needed something to be passionate about. I've tried everything. Like I've done like animal care, art. I've done sports, and there was passion, but there wasn't like that burning flame inside that, you know, like I want this, you know, like I want to travel the world. I want to see what the world's got to offer with this, you know. And that's how coffee kind of involves.
Yeah. So when was the tipping point? When did you start vlogging? When was your, let's go back some time now. When did you really get started?
I started, I believe 5 years ago, I think. Like the times have just really they're all over the place. So I think 5 years ago, because I started the same day I joined my acting class, because that was the time where I was like, right, I've had enough of feeling this way. No one else can do anything for me but me. I've got to tackle this as it comes.
And this
So
is the anxiety. This is the anxiety.
yeah, and what better way to do that in than expressing myself on video? Well, I've been wanting to do YouTube for a long time at this point, but I just didn't know how to tackle that first obstacle. And then I started vlogging that day, and then I joined an acting class in which to help like get control over my emotions in a sense. Um, and yeah, that's when I started. Like I literally didn't know what I was doing. I started vlogging on my phone, because I think I was greatly inspired by there's a YouTuber called Syndicate. I think his vlogging channel was Life of Tom, and he did like these wholesome like kind of family. It's not really. It's family vlogs. It's not a family vlog, is it, Alfie? No. He just vlogged on his phone, and I just liked how he can like grow such a massive audience and like just express himself just from like editing and filming on his phone. And I wanted to be like that. And then that's when I came to a realization, I shouldn't really aspire to be like him. I should aspire to be like me, but taking inspiration from what he did, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And what have you learned? What are the mistakes that you've made? And what are the wins and gains? If somebody was, you know, listening to this now and watching this right now, and they'd be thinking, oh, I want to be a YouTuber, I want to be a vlogger, but what do I need to do to stand out and to grow my audience? I mean, let's be honest, it's very competitive now. There's more people online than ever before, and you're, you know, cutting through with your content needs to be almost razor sharp now. And you know, what are some of the things that you've picked up along the way?
In the very beginning, I think like it ties down with uniqueness, like where I have the name like QuantumCaza. It wasn't just like a random selection. It was like there's story behind it, but also I made sure I was the only one in a sense, because then what that does is it helps my Google search engine. Therefore, like whenever I post, like only my name comes up on that, so it helps. So like my advice is like when you find a name, make sure it's unique and push it out. And then tying into that, be yourself. Like that's the, like, I know it's only a little bit of advice saying that, but like being yourself does a lot on the YouTube platform. And like something that, this is just something that I say, I don't really look for. The thing that I seek when it comes to creating content is like happiness in myself, you know. And loads of people seek numbers, and honestly, I don't think you should, don't seek numbers in the beginning, or even at all. You shouldn't really be seeking numbers. You should be seeking the happiness you get from creating content and entertaining people.
Yeah.
That's one of the most important things, I'd say.
No, and I agree, to be honest. And countless people ask me, oh, I want to get into being an influencer. What do I need to do? And I say to them, well, first of all, stop thinking you're going to be an influencer. What are you passionate about? What do you believe in? What is your unique story that you can share with people that's going to add value or entertain them? And then, you know, if you do it right, and absolutely to your point about uniqueness, people will find you through the web, through word of mouth. But I mean, there are tricks, of course, with making sure that you use the right sort of hashtags of aren't there, and I guess connecting with other YouTubers that share your values is not a bad call either. Have
Yeah,
you done much of that?
like networking, I'd say,
Yeah.
so key. Like I remember, I think the first time I started networking, like when I didn't really understand what it was in 2017. 2017? Yeah, 2017, I believe. This is when I first got accepted to an event at the YouTube space in London, which is obviously a shame now because they've just announced globally that they're closing all of the YouTube spaces. And now that I'm quite sad because I've got loads of like memories there, and it was a good place to network and
That's
meet.
the YouTube studio near King's Cross.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
it was accessible for like creators, and they had events there. But I went to my first event there in 2017, and that's where I met one of my closest friends that I'm still friends with now. He's currently like traveling about the place. But what I came to a conclusion with that is say yes to every opportunity that comes your way. Like every event, go to it. I went to a women's comedy night at the YouTube space. I didn't have enough like subscribers to get into the event, but I still applied and I got accepted. Um, but like I still networked, and I just, there's, the way I see it, there's no such thing as bad experience, because experience is experience. You're gonna level up no matter what experience you get.
Right. You're going to learn from if you're going to learn from it, aren't you? Good, bad, indifferent, you know, and take it on the chin. Yeah. And what do you think some of the challenges that some of your fellow content creators have found during this pandemic? Because on the one hand, I'm guessing in many instances their engagement may well have gone up, but brand partnerships have been challenging in a big way, and also they've not been able to get out. They've been, you know, stuck at home like the rest of us. How do you what's the sort of mental health of some of you guys?
I'd say like this is just coming from me. A massive thing for like, you know, content creators, YouTubers, is like events like play a massive role in like our life, because it's not just an event. It's like YouTubers on their own. They don't really go out their way or go out to go meet people, you know, because they're constantly on that grind, getting like making videos and that. And where like the lockdown happened, it cut off the one thing that let us go out and see our people, see the fans, etc. And what I've been dealing with over this lockdown is like loneliness, because I just like, I'm on my own as it is, like most of the time when I'm doing my coffee vlogs, and being like, I'm with my family, of course, but like I love my family, but
Yeah.
there's a limit, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm assuming though, because of coffee, you normally would go out to coffee shops, wouldn't you? And see some of these places, and they've been closed, haven't they? But actually, when you go out and see some of them, are you recognized by any of the shops, or do they know you? Have you got your own favorite coffee? Have you got your own signature coffee?
I'll try and answer all three of those. Yeah, it's greatly affected me, the lockdown, with the coffee shops, because like in my opinion, like a coffee vlogger is not just the person that goes to a coffee shop and like vlogs, like, because they're open for takeaway, but you need to go there and like experience the whole like vibe, the whole like feng shui of the coffee shop, you know.
Cool.
And yeah, that's really been like that. Yeah, that hurt me a lot, because I don't know, I like just going about, seeing new places, talking to baristas. Yeah, yeah, and I do miss that. And with the, what was the second?
What did I say now? I forgot myself now.
I know you said like, what's my favorite like coffee?
Yeah, sorry, your signature coffee. Beg your pardon. Yeah, signature coffee. Yes.
I think I haven't like signature coffee. I'm a big fan of like the Rwanda/Brazil blend that I got once at, I think, Blank Brixton. That was really nice. I was actually supposed to go up and visit those guys. But like my favorite coffee shop, my favorite go-to coffee shop would be Hidden Coffee in Camden, and that's because it's local, and I don't know, it's just one of my local ones. But like I haven't got like a favorite because I try to spread out evenly. I don't know. I tried to visit everyone.
Wow. I'm just out of interest. How many coffee shops have you visited? Do you reckon?
I think definitely like over like 60. I think like, yeah, over 60. I haven't filmed 60. I was actually going over my notes. I was like, Alfie, you need to film more coffee vlogs. You're slacking. But like definitely over 60. That's something I need to do more of. But hopefully, when everything opens up again, I'll be able to.
Yeah. And then, I mean, lastly, what about some of the tools that you've been using? You mentioned a little while earlier about animation and stuff, and what sort of tools have you found really helped your vlogging?
I'd say like making connections with like, I think like smaller up and coming artists like animators and that's like key, because they're looking for exposure and you're looking for, you know, help at the same time with your videos. But like with tools wise, I've been using, I'll start with the basics. Like you don't need the best equipment or tools, like anyone listening to this. Like I started off with my HTC phone and I edited on, what was it, InShot, or there was another phone app. I started off then and I uploaded to YouTube via that. But at the moment I use Final Cut Pro. I use Photoshop for my thumbnails. And by the way, like Photoshop, I never knew it. I got like, before university, I got accepted into a level 3 media course at college just by showing one of my phone vlogs I did. And the first lesson was Photoshop, and I didn't know what I was doing. You know, like there was like make a poster. I was like, okay, what's this button do?
Yeah. So everything is, the whole lot is all done on your phone without a laptop, without a Mac or anything. So what you're saying, you're taking the phone, you're using Pro Cut, and then it's up.
Exactly. And like even with like some films have been done on filmed on phones and iPhones. Even one of my tutors at university, he mainly films on his phone, which is amazing.
It's insane to think that you could create an entire film on a mobile phone, such as the technology now. But yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. Great. Well, it's lovely to hear from you today, Alfie, and I wish you all the best. And yeah, keep drinking coffee.
Thank you. I will.